So hi guys, I'm back with another new video. If you're a subscriber, welcome back, and if you're a new viewer, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Obviously from the title of this video, you can tell pretty much this is about I'd say my favorite self-help books that I've read along the way, and the books that have resonated the most with me. Now there are so many on the market, like loads of other types of genres, categories of writing. I don't know if that's the right terminology, but there are so many self-help writers out there. One thing about me, I have been through a hell of a lot on my journey through life, and one being my childhood sweetheart passing just before my 21st birthday. And after going through that and trying to kind of piece my life back together, I've found self-help books have helped me to kind of put things in perspective. It's almost like having friends or having opinions and conversations with people who are not necessarily from your background but have been through things themselves and can kind of shed the light on how they dealt with, you know, things in their life and what they use to motivate them and inspire them. So I won't bore you with anything else. Let's get into my favorite self-help books. So one of the first books I kind of read, or one of the first authors I kind of read, was the obvious Iyanla Vanzant. Now one of the first books I got was actually from a very good friend of mine who is also my Kai's godmother, and she gave it to me when I was going through my grief stage of my childhood sweetheart passing. And it's really funny, well, not really funny, but it's really kind of weird because on the I'll kind of explain it after I've kind of explained what book it is. So it's this book, The Acts of Phife, by Iyanla Vanzant. It's daily meditations for people of color. Now this book, as you can see, is battered and bruised. It's basically every day there is a different kind of meditation to read, and it gives you a little like affirmation for you to think about and say throughout the day. You basically read it from front to back, year in, year out. This is my staple. It sits on my bedside table, and I try to read it every morning before I get out of bed, and kind of go through what's been said for the day and kind of think about it through the day and apply it through the day, and, you know, acknowledge what I've read. And, you know, as much as people say, I've had this book for 15 years, because Gavin passed away 15 years ago. That sounds really strange. That seems like a very long time ago, but yeah, it's weird. But yeah, this book I have read year in, year out, and I've got to say it's such a great book. And sometimes I do, my auntie was the one who told me, sometimes what she does is she'll just think about what she's going through and think about the guidance that she needs and, you know, what she's asking for, and she'll just genuinely just open the book, and usually what she lands on gives her some kind of help, or maybe some kind of something to think about in regards to the situation she's going through. So this is definitely one of my favorites. I would say it kind of, for me, what I was going to say earlier is on the day that Gavin passed, which is the 16th of July, it was so weird that what she wrote about was basically losing somebody in your life, and explaining that, you know, sometimes people kind of leave your life and we have no explanation for it, you know, and everybody is kind of in your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. So it was just really, really kind of weird, but I did read that excerpt at Gavin's funeral. So this is definitely, if you're thinking of starting with self-help books, definitely check this one out. It's a good one. And next one I would say that I read was another Iyanla Vanzant book. I can't find it, I think it's still packed away somewhere, but was her kind of like life story Yesterday I Cried. Now that is a very good book, and it's got some self-help snippets in there, but the one I read the most recent that I think is great, Peace from Broken Pieces. I absolutely love this book. I've read it, and I'm the type of person, when I love something, I'll read it again and again and again. I've read it once, absolutely loved it. I will read it again, because I think with some of these books, sometimes you read it and you kind of take parts of it in, and then you'll read it again and something else will resonate with you, and you'll be like, oh my god, how comes I didn't think about that the first time, or how comes I didn't kind of acknowledge that the first time. So I think for me, you know, a good self-help book is a book that you can kind of read again and again, and there's always going to be, as Oprah calls them, the aha moment, and you'll be like, oh my god, yeah, I so understand that. And this for me was very, I read this at a time when I was going through quite a lot. This was a few years back, and it kind of helped me identify with what she was saying about the cycles within families and how to break them. So yeah, if this is, you know, maybe you're going through some family stuff, maybe you're realizing that there's some patterns within the women especially, or even the men in your family, and you are trying to break those patterns, this is definitely a book to read. So this is another one. Another one that I like to read or have read, now everybody has probably read this, The Secret. Yes, I have read this quite a few times. I have also watched the DVD a number of times. This is definitely something you should pick up. This might be a great one for starting with. The only reason why I say this is because it breaks down the fundamentals of I don't want to necessarily call it self-help, but it breaks down the fundamentals of how you should kind of, you know, what you need to do with your brain. It's about retraining your brain if you have unfortunately picked up very bad habits, and we all do, and we all have, let's be honest, when it comes to how we think, how we speak, what we say, what we do. And this is really about retraining your thought processes, retraining how you view yourself, and kind of retraining how you want to succeed based on the language and how you think about situations. And I think this was kind of instrumental in me understanding that I am kind of the master of the ship, and I have to be very vital about how I think about things happening in my life, what I say in regards to things happening in my life, and how I kind of approach them, which is kind of the key to all things in life. So this is a very, very good book. As you will see in some of my books, I do highlight, I do underline, I do mark, and sometimes it's when I want to go back, it's just the case of, oh, let me, why did I highlight that, and it will, you know, maybe reconfirm something for me, or maybe helping me go through, I might be going through something, sorry, and it may help me at that time. But this is definitely a book you can read again and again and again. But I've even read the DVD, I've even watched the DVD, and it's definitely something you should think about getting into your collection. So that's my third one. The next one I've got is another like Acts of Phife, again by Iyanla Vanzant. If you haven't guessed it, she's probably one of my favorite writers when it comes to affairs of self-help and kind of working on yourself. She's definitely one I kind of go to. This is a little bit like Acts of Phife, but it goes into way more detail, and it's basically about reading it every day and saying at that point, until today, this is what I did, but today, from this day forward, this is what I'm going to do. Some of the things in here are very, very good in terms of how you look at life, how you handle situations, how you handle your circumstances, because I do genuinely believe that sometimes it's funny, I decided to do this today because I had a conversation with a lady today, just off track we're going, whose daughter didn't get the GCSE results she actually wanted, and now she's having to think about possibly doing something she doesn't really want to do, or having to take a year out to do something she doesn't want to do in order to give her the grades to get into study at A levels, the subject she wants to study. And I always think sometimes I've learned when things happen and they may not necessarily be what you feel should be happening at that time, sometimes there is a bigger, not even sometimes, there usually is a bigger picture You may call it God, I call it the universe, whatever you want to call it, has different plans for you. And although you feel like something should be happening now, you may not be ready to receive what you feel you should be ready to receive. And you might not be ready to receive what you're supposed to receive. So sometimes the universe puts these obstacles in our way for us to encounter other life lessons, so that when we do get what we really want, or something happens that we really want, we are ready to receive it and to be grateful and thankful for it. But that's just a sidebar. So, you know, I think books like this really do help kind of you change your perspective on life. And that sometimes we think things are bad, and in actuality, no, sometimes that thing happening has set you up for something so much better and so much bigger in life. So again, until today, Acts of Faith, definitely choose to have in your collection. And that sits alongside Acts of Faith beside my book, and I try to read them both every morning. I try to wake up and read them both in the morning. Another one that I have read, I think I've read maybe twice or 3 times, another favorite writer. And the only reason I read this book, I watched the talk that he gave on YouTube. It was recorded and put on YouTube, and I had to go and buy the book because there were so many oh my god, okay, I understand that, I get that, oh my god, aha moments in that talk, that I thought having the book would be even more beneficial. And I have highlighted and marked the hell out of this book. Unfortunately, he passed away a while back, but he has got so many books, and I think he writes from a place of he makes it very easy to understand some of the things he's writing about. So my other book is Wishes Fulfilled by Dr. Wayne W. Dyer. This is an incredible book, and it talks about the power of I am. I'm not going to go into it too deep, but he basically lets the reader know that I am are the most 2 powerful words you will ever utter in this existence, and you have to be so careful what you put after the words I am. I learned this from not only this book, but this one into a lot more detail in regards to kind of balancing with The Secret, what you think, how you feel, and this just broke it down. It also basically goes through the teachings of this is the I Am Discourses. Now this book was given to me, and it is written in very old English, and it's not something you can kind of just read 10 pages and be good. You'll probably read a few pages and have to digest those for a little while, for a good few days, before you pick it up again and read. Now he bases this book around this book and their teachings, so they kind of go hand in hand, but you can definitely read this book, and I'm telling you, in terms of exactly what the title said, Wishes Fulfilled, it talks about how to basically master the art of manifesting, and how important it is to kind of, it's not just a case of I'm gonna say this is gonna happen and it's gonna happen. He goes into so much detail about how you have to kind of believe it with every fiber. It has to kind of radiate from every fiber of your body, and you have to look at the language you use. You have to look at who is around you, your environment, your energy, and what you're giving out, and you know, all of that. Definitely one of my greatest books, and I can tell you this is going to be something that I read again and again and again, mainly because it's just such a great book. And although, you know, you'll walk away and think, yeah, I'm going to put that into practice, you know, life sometimes gets the better of you, and sometimes you just need a little reminder. I would say if you follow me on Instagram, you know I'm very much into my quotes, and sometimes I believe that quotes, especially really helpful quotes or inspirational, motivational quotes, can come to you at a time when you really, really need them. I push to be very positive, and I think that comes from the fact that I've had quite a lot happen in my life. So I have taken the step, you know, where some people may have given up, I've taken the step to continue on. So I hope these books have helped. I'm gonna have to end my video here because my battery is now flashing at me. So I will do a blog post on these books so that you can get the full names. Also the names, I will list them in the comment section down in the box down below. So obviously click along to those. You can probably find them in all good book retailers, online or in store. Definitely check those out. If you have your own self-help books that you use and you find that they are fantastic and I should know about them, please put them in the comment section down below. I'm gonna end this video here, guys. It's been lovely as usual. Peace out. Don't forget to like and obviously hit that subscribe button if you're not already subscribed to our channel, and I will see you in the next video. Peace. Have a lovely day, people. I should say have a lovely week. A weekend because it's bank holiday, but I don't know if it's bank holiday everywhere. So I'm gonna end this video here. Peace, and I will see you in the next video, guys. Take care.